Hey, and welcome to Star Wars Saturdays. Star Wars Saturdays is an ongoing living campaign that I've been running for the Gauntlet community. The Gauntlet community is a worldwide group of tabletop role-playing game fans, aficionados, and friends. Like a F, it's a little bit of consonants going on there. We started off in Houston, right, Stephen? Yes, started in Houston, I think. Yeah, and then when Jason Cordova moved, he said, "Hey, I have to go online now," and the Gauntlet community formed up around him, and now we are thousands strong. I'm pretty sure that's true. If not, it sounds good. We play a bevy of indie and OSR games. Lots of small book stuff. You're not going to find any Pathfinder here. I'm sorry. There are lots of places you can find it. No D&D here really either, other than OSR style. And I run really weird esoteric stuff most of the time, and a lot of Powered by the Apocalypse things. If you don't know what those things mean, who cares? It's a tabletop game. We are pretending to be Star Warsy peoples. The living campaign part of Star Wars Saturdays is that every month I choose a new game. Sometimes we have recurring games. And we are slowly working through events in kind of our own shared universe that happens to also take place during the original trilogy of Star Wars movies. Empire Strikes Back has been the kind of majority of this past year, but we've slowly transitioned into the Return of the Jedi timeline. And during Gauntlet Con, which just happened a few weeks ago, we officially kicked it off with Return of the Jedi, and we had this crazy Apocalypse World game where Jabba the Hutt was like, it took place right after Jabba the Hutt was killed, and there was it was very exciting. It was quite good. And today we are playing the first of 3 sessions of Hunt the Wicked. Hunt the Wicked is by Ben Dutter of Sigil Stone Productions. It is a game that has its own built-in world and setting that I've excised to Star Warsify it. And we're going to be playing bounty hunters who work within the Bounty Hunter Guild system that exists in the Star Wars expanded universe. And yes, I know Disney has said none of that's official, but occasionally they'll pull stuff in for things, and it is official. So I'm just going to exist within if it's in Wikipedia and sounds cool, we'll probably bring it into our world. And if it doesn't, then we just ignore it. Like Zhang Fong, that kind of stuff that doesn't exist. We're going to be playing with bounty hunters who have different motivations and reasons for hunting people down, dead or alive. A lot of the contracts are for Imperial contracts. So you guys are actually officially able to do your job. Remember Vader met with all those bounty hunters, so it's a thing. It's nice and official. Who cares about official, though? I don't know why I'm like obsessing and talking about that. You guys are going to play bounty hunters. You go on hunts after particular bounties, and hopefully we get to learn a little bit about you as individuals, your characters. I'm going to make sure that you guys know the X card is in effect as our safety tool if I don't have your lived experience. And if there's any aspect of this game that bothers you or causes you to withdraw or just feels really problematic and isn't fun for you, you don't want to explore it, all you got to do is just like make an X on our Roll for Your Party link. There's an X card thing, or you can just type X in the little sidebar chat thing on our Hangout. Lots of different ways. Just communicate to me. You can even say like out loud, "Hey, I need to X card that," which is the best way because it's the quickest. I'm not going to challenge you on what you X carded. I will ask questions, try to understand. Then we're going to take a step back. We as a group, all 4 of us, very smart individuals, will find a way around that, and we'll excise that from our game. We won't deal with it again. Example, I've had stuff as like teeth has been X-carded on me before. Teeth as a method of exchange within a particular weird fantasy world. And we went with, we talked about it for a minute and went with fingernails instead. And that didn't gross anybody out. So, fingernail economy. The last thing I'll say about X-Card before we move on is that if something seems a little hinky to you for whatever reason, and you decide to let it go, you're like, that's cool, it's not going to bother me. And a little bit later, it does start to bother you, you can still X-Card. right? We have one where I grabbed an NPC name that happened to be the name of another player, and they're like, "Oh, that's kind of weird," but go ahead, it's no big deal because it's a relatively common name. And then a little bit later in the scene, we realize this guy's kind of a scuzzbucket NPC, and the guy's like, "Hey, you know what? Maybe we should rename them." X-carded it, bam, we renamed that character, no problem. So that's great uses of the X card. It's our safety tool to make sure that we're comfortable. There will be violence in this game. There will be people getting shot with blasters. There will probably be stormtroopers. I don't know if that's a problem for you. Just warning you ahead of time. Lots of space travel and hijinks. So Hunt the Wicked is a game with player-facing roles where you guys will be rolling 6-sided dice, attempting to reach, meet or beat a particular number that's based off the skill that you're performing. And each of your skills have a number listed by it that is your target number, that number higher on a 6-sided die. We build a pool of dice when you want to do a thing. Starts with 1 die free. And then you talk about your motivations, your skills, your talents, all that good stuff. We add that all up together. You roll those 6-sided dice and go against the target of total successes that I, as the GM, will set. It's a pretty simple but interesting system. First time that I have run any of the Hunt the Wicked systems. It's the first time I've run Hunt the Wicked. I've run Belly of the Beast before, but this one's quite different. Belly of the Beast also by Vendetta. Cool. With all of that preface and preamble all done, let's get to know who our hunters are, but of course you as people. So I'm going to let Joe lead us off. Joe, our wonderful player who's braved the early mornings on a Saturday, got up early on a Saturday for fun and for profit. Hey, Joe, tell us about your bounty hunter.
I'm playing Janilla Jantek. She's a Zeltron. I'm still getting a bit to know her because, it's the first session. She's bounty hunting for fun and profit. Not really. Maybe I'll find out more as we play.
Cool. So yeah, I see you've chosen the motivation of socialization and respect. That's pretty cool. Okay. Neat. Janila, and she is a Zeltron now. Is she from Zeltros?
Yeah.
Okay, so Zeltros
she's
is
a
pleasure planet. It is kind of a debauched Las Vegas in space, and the Zeltrons generally have like a pheromone-based ability to create attraction with other people, at least in the Wikipedia listing. Is that something that you feel like Janila has?
I could have played all of that by just making like her highest stat influence. So felt like that just made sense.
Sounds good to me. Awesome. And I see here she has a talent for Deadeye. What are you seeing with that? She just has an incredibly good shot. Like she's a really great shot.
Yeah. When she finally was getting around to using a blaster, she found that she was very good at it.
Nice. I see you stuck in a vibro knife. Now I feel bad. I should have made a vibro knife. Thank you for adding that. That is definitely an oversight on my part.
I was like, where's the melee weapon?
I know, right? That was dumb. Well, the dumb on me. Hunt the Wicked has this thing called kinesticks, which are these weird stun baton type deals, and it didn't really fit in my head canon, so I excised it, but I didn't replace it with anything. So thanks for that, because there are melee weapons that aren't all lightsabers in the Star Wars universe. So thank you for that. She's got a nice light hard suit. Definitely influences her strongest skill. And so she's from Zeltron. She's really out to get along with people, travel the galaxy, and gain some respect. Is that really her kind of overall?
Yeah. She's trying to like gain respect and I guess like increase her own, I don't know, self-worth.
Nice. Did she work on Zeltros like at one of the casinos or dance halls or anything like that? Like,
I don't think she worked on Zeltros.
Okay.
I'm kind of thinking like she was probably like slavery is a thing in Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
So I think like she's eventually an escaped slave or along that sort of lines.
Ooh.
And now she's like, yeah, that's never going to happen to me again. So
Nice. Okay, so she's a Zeltron, but she's not necessarily from Zeltros.
Well,
The
she was
actual
born
homeworld.
there, but
Okay, born there, went off into space, got enslaved,
yeah.
and then escaped and became a bounty hunter. That sounds cool. I really like it. Thank you so much. I'm going to next go to Steven. Steven, how are you this morning?
I'm doing great.
Good, good. So I see here you've got a Bothan.
I have a Bothan named Kai Sila, and Kai is a Bothan, specializes. He's very sneaky, very manipulative. Specializes in information bounties, finding information and bringing it back, or information about a particular bounty. And most of his skills are things like gain someone's trust, discover information. Let's see. Um, Skill-wise is good at hiding and not very good at the fighting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's see. That's about all I have. Let's see. I put down his talent infiltration. So being able to sneak into a place.
Nice. I like it a lot.
I added vibrocord as a weapon, silent and silencing.
Awesome.
So
I like it a lot. So, Kesela, am I saying it right? Ya La? How do you say that last name? I'm trying to.
that sounds good. It probably won't be the same time every time I say something.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's really cool, though. So, Kai, are you seeing him? What's his relationship? Because the Bothans did, of course, help out with the alliance to restore the Republic. Is that a thing that he's steered clear of?
So, from what I've seen of Bothans in general are a very sneaky group.
Oh, yeah.
And they have a lot of manipulation going on. So, in general, he is out to find information and use that to gain power. And I'm not sure he cares much which direction that is pointed in. Right now, the Empire has his gives him a license to work. So I think he's allied with the Empire at the moment. But if the money were right, he'd probably do the same thing for the Alliance.
Interesting. Okay. Does he have any family that's mixed up with the Rebel Alliance, or any friends that have gone off to do that crazy thing?
I think that if you can call them friends, certainly he knows people who have helped find information for both sides.
Mm-hmm.
His clan that he comes from is more allied towards the Empire. They have more experience providing information and infiltrating the Empire than they have the rebels. But I think that he has a couple of schoolmates that were probably best termed rivals that were have provided information for the rebels as well. And he knows this because he's provided information for the rebels whenever he can't get caught.
Very, very interesting. Cool. I like that a lot. Great. Last but not least, we have Michael. Michael, I am so excited to see your return of a certain bounty hunter who actually gets to play with the rules for bounty hunters. Please tell us about Zuto.
Yes, I am very excited to be playing Zuto again. Zuto is a very honorable bounty hunter, or at least he believes himself to be. He's also sort of gained a reputation for being indomitable. He's very tough and doesn't go down easily. I sort of the original inspiration for Zuto was Dog the Bounty Hunter, so he kind of has a thing for being compassionate with bounties and trying to take people alive if he can. But hey, when the chips are down, contract's a contract, so that's Zuto, and he's an Otagan, which if you're familiar with the Ithorians, it's kind of like that, except he has a humanoid mouth instead of the weird, like, vibrating cheek flaps or whatever. So, yeah.
He's really tall, right? What is he, like a big rangy guy, or is he heavy set? It's kind of hard to tell from the cloak.
Yeah. I think that the cloak sort of helps to try to kind of mask the fact that he is rather tall and bulky, and he wears like heavy durasteel armor underneath his cloak. He's a pretty imposing figure, but he doesn't like to necessarily showcase that, partly as, you know, a tactical thing, and partly as a you know, just conversational thing, you know. Doesn't try to be too imposing.
Nice. I like it. Good deal. All right. So now we have introduced our 3 hunters. You guys are a team. We're going to talk a little bit about that team, kind of build it and understand why it is that you guys work together. Then we're going to talk about your township, or the place where you're currently calling your home base, as it were. Then we'll jump into our first bounty hunt. So I know Zuto's been at this for a while. Who is the founding member of the 3 of you as a team working together, do you think?
I think Kai actually brought the group together. He had heard of these bounty hunters before, and he knows his weaknesses and has brought them all together in order to go after bounties that are larger than he could do on his own.
Nice. So Kai had just been working on smaller bounties, things where he can infiltrate, giving out information, and then realize, hey, if you build a larger team, then you can go after bigger bounties. That sounds really cool. I like that as an idea. Why is it that Janila, why did you decide working solo wasn't working for you and you needed a team? Was it some kind of hardship that you ran into, or is it literally the fact that socialization is a motivation for you?
So she's still new to bounty hunting, so like she thought it'd be, safer and easier, but it's clearly safer with more people, and she's big on socialization, so she likes being around others. So yeah, it's like a mixture of those two. Like this would be safer if I've backup, especially when taking on more than one target, or if the target has backup,
or the target's a droid, and isn't susceptible to your wiles, all that good stuff. I'm curious, Janelle, and I'm going to transition and start using character names. As a former slave, what indicator is there if someone were to either look up your picture, or is there a mark on your body, something that identifies you as a former slave?
There's probably a tattoo somewhere. Probably like, I don't know, I haven't figured out where, but
is it something that she hides, or
yeah
cool, maybe like on maybe the side of the neck kind of deal, back of the neck?
Yeah.
Cool. So she wears her hair long to cover up the...
Yeah, and she's got like that high collar thing. Nice.
I dig it a lot. Zuto, after all the crazy experiences that you had with the rebellion, now all of a sudden you've got this Bothan who wants to team up with you. How is that going for you?
Well, the thing about the rebellion is that they have a tendency to kind of be blinded by their hard moral code and ethics. So if someone is interested in maybe blurring those lines a bit, they might be a little bit more reliable of a partner. And That's, I think, as far as joining the team, Zuto's been in this game for a while, and he knows he's done the lone wolf thing before, but it's always good to have somebody at your six, so he doesn't mind working as a team.
Cool. So, Kai, since you formed them up and you seem to be the best at intel, do you generally call the shots or get things moving?
No. I make sure that everyone in this group thinks that they are calling the shots. But usually I push this in the direction I think is best for the group so that we don't get caught, so that we don't get overpowered, and so that we make as much money as possible.
That is really interesting. So they all think they're in charge at different times.
Mhm.
Pretty cool.
They probably think it's a democracy, or they think that, they each have their own specialized times that they do things and stuff like that. But in reality, they are, maybe you can be nice and say that, yes, whenever we're in their area of expertise, they are leading. But yeah.
That's fantastic. Cool. Let's see. Zudo, you have a ship, or at least canonically, you've had a ship because in one of the games you bought a ship, and I don't think you even ever got to fly it because I immediately threw you into another ship. So let's figure that out.
Sure.
I think it would. I'm trying to imagine that it's some kind of larger starship that could easily house the three of you. Do you primarily pilot the ship, or do you have a pilot on board?
Yeah. Maybe I could have like a droid pilot assistant.
Sure. Wait, I saw a pointing. Like, are you?
Hell yeah, I'll pilot.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. If Janila's down, then.
All right. Sure. Well, there you go. Well, droids are, heavy for the upkeep, and they're not that
do
smart,
the astromech stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys have an astromech then for plotting courses, or is that is it a ship computer, or do you actually want an astromech? I'm good either way.
I always like an astromech.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. A
real crummy one.
Real sassy.
Yes.
Nice. So like maybe a Clone Wars era the
Chopper,
Yeah, totally. I'm buying Chopper. Chopper is a character from Star Wars Rebels that is when the show was originally coming out. They've some behind the scenes. One person said Chopper's kind of like a cat. I'm like, wow. that's pretty mean. I'm imagining that you guys have like there's a particular courier ship that I'm looking at right here. Let me show you a picture of it and see if this works for you guys. This might be a little grandiose for your purposes, but I don't have a whole lot of starships. But this is a Hornet class courier. Sorry, it's sideways. I'll fix it up later. Fix it in post or something like that. It has 2 crew dorms, a captain's cabin, so it's made for smaller crews, and it's probably seen some wear. Yeah, I can. Let me rotate it. I know I can do that in this.
I can read.
How do I make the thing go? Dang it! No, that's not how that goes. I'm a doof. I remember there's a thing, but I can't find it. Anyway, I promise I will.
If I look at the very top right, I see little blue rotating arrows next to that finger pointy thing on the left.
Blue rotating finger pointy thing on the left. Blue rotate this.
Very, very top of the bar there. Very, very top. All the way up there.
Rotate. That's redo and undo, unfortunately. View. Hold on. View. Go. Read. Rotate view. There we go. All right. Boy, isn't it weird how like the orientation of a thing can just break your brain?
Indeed. But yeah, that looks cool to me.
Awesome. So this is now canonically your ship for now until it gets blown apart. because this might have a little Star Trek in it where we blow up the ship at the end of every episode. Isn't that how it goes in the Star Trek movies? You always blow up the ship. Cool. But you guys don't live on there because it can get pretty expensive to just live on ship. It's way cheaper to head to find a home base, especially since you got to do repairs and all that good stuff. So if you hop over to the township, that is a tab on our little character keeper. So I wanted to this is Spaceport Trident Vespa. Looks like a big pitchfork. It's got permacrete and ferrocrete lanes that form the lines and buildings all around the edges. So a lot of ships are actually fly in rather than just landing flat. And you can see here there are a bunch of hangars that are open air. This actually is so. Oh, I'll ask this one of Kay. So Trident Vespa, is this thing actually located on an asteroid or is it on some dust ball in the outer rim?
This is definitely a dust ball in the outer rim. Yeah.
Nice. Cool. Cool. I like it. Sweet. There's not much to do outside of this dust ball. I'm going to say it's not like a Tatooine, but it's a Star Wars, so it definitely needs to have like the whole planet has one type of atmosphere or vegetation. So I'm going to ask. I will ask Janila. Janila, the surrounding dust ball of the planet. What is the primary color that we see? And I ask that because, like, you know, like the moon, the Force moon on Endor is green and Hoth is white, and you know Dagobah was lots of deep browns. Was the big color for this?
I'm gonna go with orange.
Orange. Oh, cool. Is that because of some kind of like literal dust?
Yeah,
that happens here. Okay. Very cool. Very cool. I like it a lot. Zuto, here in Spaceport Trident Vespa, there are a few places. There's Gorsik's Hydroponics, because a lot of the vegetation is better done indoors than outdoors because of those roving dust storms that happen. Gorsik's is a Toydarian. Toydarians, remember, that's the they talk like this, little guys, they have the wings. And I'm totally going to do that voice. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just going to happen. And then we have Sierra's Spacenomics, which is a ship repair depot where Sierra, the Rhodian, works. Where do you normally spend your time, Zuto? Are you at some kind of cantina here, or is there a place that you go to tell tales of the hunt, or do you do some kind of good works, or how do you spend your free time?
Oh wow, I like that third option as a possibility. The Bounty Hunter Spaceport Orphanage or whatever. But I think maybe to make this place a bit more gritty, I think there's got to be like some like alien animal fighting ring.
Oh, neat. Maybe there's like a Gundark. Gundark is like these weird kind of space dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gundark fighting arena.
Yeah. Is everybody okay with that? Cool.
Cool. And then what kind of species, and if you want to look on the Star Wars names and species, we've got a number of, what is the species of the person, the gentle being that owns this place?
There's a particular species that's coming to my head, and I'm so grateful you have these pictures so I can put a name to it.
That is Weequay. Oh man, that's awesome. Okay, cool. Weequay.
Let's go with Fakbar's Gelk.
Akbar.
It's one of the names listed there under the.
I'll go find it because there's no way I'm gonna like fumble through.
Yeah.
I'll do terrible. That is awesome. So we have. Oh yeah! Wow, that name is insane. I love it. And what do you do there? Do you just hang out? Are you some kind of like part-time security? Is this just a place where people know to find you?
Yeah. I think that. Oh, what is it? It's as opposed to the hydroponics place is what I'm thinking. So I'm thinking like this hydroponics place, info trading happens here too. It's almost its own sort of cantina. Is that right? So, but the sort of people who come to the fighting arena might be a bit more rough and tumble and skeezy.
Yeah, I could see people being tougher there than at the hydroponics garden. Yeah, that reads.
Right. So I think it's yeah, it's kind of just about like being a tough guy, and this is where the tough guys go. So it's him trying to kind of maintain his reputation, I think, even though he doesn't care for gambling.
Doesn't so you don't actually gamble? You just there?
Yeah. So is this place, this spaceport, is it sort of like a neutral ground?
It sure is.
Okay, so I think it's kind of fun too for him to like interact with some of these people who probably have bounties on their heads, but in a safe space. So it's sort of like, oh, hey, I remember you. You ran off from me on Irritan 4 or whatever, you know, and
Ooh, neat.
how things been.
So I'm curious, because you're the person who would know this kind of stuff, Kai. Why is it that this Trident Vespa is kind of a bounty neutral place? Is it like there's one particular person who's declared it that way? Is it just a community agreement? Why is it?
So I think that this is a communication hub for the Empire. It's sort of like a relay station for them to get their information to the outer reaches. And because of that, all sorts of people gather here. But if anything untoward happened here, there were, meaning that if there was anything that put that information hub at risk, the Empire would clamp down hard. So probably the only people who aren't welcome here are rebels. Anyone who is openly in the rebellion probably isn't okay here. But so bounties are allowed here. We just can't take them because any kind of violence or any kind of people going missing would be suspicious to the Empire.
Is there a heavy Imperial presence here, or is it just a threat that, you know, if you guys screw up, then we're going to show up, knock on your door, and this place gets locked down?
There used to be a heavy Imperial presence here, like just 4 or 5 years ago. But I think that the untoward people here started ruling themselves and kind of convinced the Empire that a heavy hand wasn't necessary here.
Oh, fascinating.
That's why it's even more important that people don't step out of line here. It's dealt with very harshly by the denizens of this, you know, the leader of this area, the denizens of this area, because they don't want the Empire to come back and mess with their stuff.
Nice. So I am curious, when you first arrived here, Janila, how did you get in some trouble with the whole let's keep stuff under wraps here?
I probably like when I first got here, I probably didn't like. There's a bounty on that dude. Why aren't like we just taking them? It's like, oh no, oh you're new here.
Nice. I want to name that person you tried to take in because, of course, they are not leaving and will give you trouble. What do you think this was? Some kind of like big honking Trandoshan, the lizardmen dudes, or do you think it was like a Gamorrean? I think it's some kind of thug, not very smart thug.
I think I was actually leaning towards a Twi'lek.
Okay, cool,
That,
awesome.
Is actually running a business here.
I love it. Yeah, ooh, that's really cool. Male or female? Were you thinking?
I'm gonna go with female.
Cool. I am going to take the name Alema Emersu. And what was she? What's her bounty for?
Ooh, I don't know what the actual crimes in Star Wars are.
Oh, it was regular. It could
Probably
be
like
smuggling. It could be, data theft. It could be murder.
Yeah, let's go with data theft. Oh wait, yeah, bounties. We also like private bounties could be on her. So like, yeah, like data theft from like some mob boss or whatever. So like because like we do private and legal bounties, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So like
Nice.
the Empire doesn't have a bounty on her because the Empire doesn't care about like this mob that got robbed.
Cool. I like it. And so she works. You say she works what? Like she has a regular job? Is she some kind of like repair tech, or does she work in the service industry?
I think she's like the gin joint or whatever.
Oh, cool. Awesome. So there'll be like a little cantina of some kind there. It's a gin joint. I like that. I like that even better than cantina. Sweet. Good. Awesome. So where is it that you spend a lot of your time, Kai?
Nice. Good. I had an idea. So a orphanage was mentioned?
Yes.
So I think that the bounties and the bounty hunters leave a lot of children behind. And I think there's an orphanage here. And Kai spends a lot of time at the orphanage. He spends a lot of his spare coin donating to the orphanage. Mainly, he knows that those in need will be most malleable if he can give food and general supplies. I think he's given enough at the orphanage for like a wing or a room to have his name on it.
That's awesome.
So he now has like a network of, eventually these people get placed or they get taken off world. I think he has like a little network of adolescents who've grown up a little bit and he can call on in order to say, oh, remember I'm Uncle Kai.
Wow, that is awesome. Yes, 100 times yes. So this orphanage is run by, I'll throw this one out to you, Janila.
Dodger.
Do what?
I'm just playing off the whole Oliver aspect of being space vegan, and like there's one of them's like the Artful Dodger or something.
Oh, perfect. That's funny. Oh, that's cute. You know what's funny? The first time I heard the name Artful Dodger was in Shadowrun as a Shadowrun street name. I do not know where it came from, but yeah. I'm like, what a cool name. Yeah, that's from Power Twist. Oh, awesome. Okay, great. Cool. So let's see. So we got this Dodger.
And of course, there's just random apostrophes in there.
There have to be. Random apostrophes. Dodger. That's great. That's great. Since you care about orphans, Zudo, what species is Dodger?
You asking me?
Oh no, it's asking Zuto.
A good species for I was gonna say maybe like Celestin, but Celestin or Rhodian I think would be cool too.
Oh, we've got a Rhodian that runs Spacenomics, so let's go with Celestin. I like it.
Yeah.
Orphle Dodger. And Uncle Kai donates heavily. Sweet. So Alima Emersu, the Twi'lek that you nearly took in for a bounty, how have you worked that out? Like, you guys still have? Does she rub that in your face? Have you guys gotten over it? Did she just laugh at you? How does that go?
I think it's like a friendly teasing at this point where it's just like, I'm sorry, I didn't know. And then like I found out, like I knew she was wanted. I'm like, oh, you're wanted by a hut. Yeah, I probably wouldn't take you in anyway, knowing what they do. So
nice. I like that.
It's like we both know that we're like former slaves, so we're like, yeah, no.
Sounds good. I like that a lot. Cool. Any other ideas you guys have for township? I don't want to spend over much time, but I definitely want to. If you've got ideas from looking at the map and seeing stuff that bubble in your head, we can continue to develop the township as we go between hunts. Good. Awesome. Cool. So we're going to start off at that little gin joint, which I don't imagine that, not yet. Alima doesn't run the place. She just tends bar. And we start off because there's an announcement in the gin joint. Drinks on the house. And Alima declares it excitedly. She starts bringing out good stock. Like good stuff, like under, top shelf stuff. She gets on a little ladder and she's like going up and she's pulling down some of the good stock. And people are coming in from outside because they have heard free drinks on the house. And it was pretty jovial. So I'm going to say that you are already there, Janila. Zuto, are you there, or are we going to pick up with you? We'll jump over and catch you somewhere else in the township.
I'll definitely stick around.
Sweet. And what about Kai?
So I think Kai was overdoing good work at the orphanage whenever one of the orphans said, "Hey, there's drinks at,
There you go. What comes running up? Free drinks.
Yeah.
Uncle Kai, free drinks. We know you like drinking. And it's okay. We accept that. Sweet. So you guys all come in, and there is a HoloNet broadcast that is showing. It's like it pops in. And you see this sail barge on a desert, and it's like the smoking ruins. And there are a couple of sand crawlers, the Jawa sand crawlers, that are headed in. And there's a report of the death of Jabba the Hutt. Exactly. And that is why there are free drinks right now.
Yep.
As Alima Emersu is celebrating the death of the evil Jabba the Hutt. And she's telling stories about how he killed her cousin, Ula. And there's a lot of like commiserating and talking about people who've run afoul of the Hutt cartel, or who have had particular dealings with Jabba. And I'm going to say that the Sierra, the Rhodian who runs the repair depot, happens to be here, and he knows you, Zuto. He knows you always have some kind of story. So he's like a dusky brown-colored Rhodian. He comes over with a half-empty mug, and he says, Zuto, and have that weird little proboscis type mouth and his big shiny eyes. He says, did you Did you ever deal with Jabba? You ever take a job for Jabba?
Oh, absolutely. Ah, yes, Jabba and I were well acquainted. Any serious bounty hunter is always, has to have at least one Jabba contract under his belt.
I heard that Boba Fett was there. The Boba Fett, and he died.
Oh, yes, it was. It was somewhat ignominious. Stray blaster shot got him in the jetpack, and well, the rest is history.
There are a couple of other bar patrons who like look around. They know you have a jetpack. Oh, jetpacks are dangerous, he says. Sierra says, very dangerous. Should have yours serviced. You want me to take a look at it?
Nobody touches my jetpack.
Nice. He like puts his little. They have that little sticker, like the little suckers on the ends of their fingers. Like he holds his hands up. Whoa, 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 whoa.
But don't worry. I've got a little extra Durasteel plating on the back to make sure that doesn't happen to me.
Alima calls you over, Janila, and says, hey, let's do a toast. Let's do a toast to freedom. What do you do, Janila? Oh, wait. Tech issues? Joe? We lose you? Maybe? I don't know. I think he's disappeared. All right, no problem. Oh, okay. No problem. Understood. So having a little bit of, I was hoping that early in the morning games there would be better Wi-Fi for you. All right, cool. We'll jump over. So Kai, you come in a little bit late. You see that there's probably 30, 40 people here. Hopefully Joe's going to be able to rejoin us. Hopefully. So you see there's 30, 40 people all kind of squeezed into this little gin joint, which is normally a kind of quiet after work affair, kind of blue collar style. But the offer of free drinks has caused it to become pretty raucous. And we will say that you're being led, like, I don't know if you'd hold their hand, but like a little human, like a little boy is like dragging you along excitedly because he's the one who found, Uncle Kai found the free drinks for you. When you come in, you see the Zudo is talking to Sierra the Rhodian, and Janila is up at the bar talking to the Twillick, who is the main bartender there. What do you do?
So I think I see on the hollow screen, Jabba reported dead, and Kai looks shocked, and then kind of, leans up against the back wall, just kind of stunned. He didn't see this coming, and he's quickly thinking through all the conditions of what this means and how the network's going to change, and trying to figure things out, because this is a big deal and everything's going to shift now.
Yeah, last you'd heard about Jabba, other than situation normal, still running most of Tatooine, was the Han Solo had been captured. The big black eye in Jabba's organization, that one smuggler who dropped cargo when the Imperials just came sniffing.
And he was gathering together even Solo's friends, and he had the big heavy duty bounty hunters working for him, and for him to be taken down, I don't know, how could that happen?
How could it happen indeed? So the three of you are there when and celebrating, chatting, talking about old hunts, and wondering about what might have happened to take down Jabba the Hutt. The HoloNet reporter talks about that there are reports of a person with a lightsaber. There are reports that the murder, the assassination, was taken on by a Jedi. And there are a few quick interviews and some history, like what the Jedi were, right? Because they're an ancient religion. Nobody knows anything about the Jedi. Kai, you receive a comm, audio only. It's a little alert that you get from one of the kids, one of your mini contacts, your little sparrows. What do you do?
I step outside of the bar. It's probably too loud in here, and there's too many people here. I don't want anyone to overhear. But I step out of the bar, onto the alleyway and take the comm. Yeah.
Uncle Kai, it's Barua. I've been watching the bounty board, and a new one came on. 5,000 credits.
Ooh.
You told me to tell you anything over 3.
Yeah, I mean, good job. That's a lot of cred to spread around. So yeah, great job. Where can I get the information? Can you send that to me?
Yes. I spliced into the board. I can forward it to you. No problem. I'll do it.
Okay. And you know the deal. If anyone else grabs this information as well, please send me the contact information or send me the details so that I know who else might be coming. So that I know who else might be coming after the bounty as well. And then I step back inside the bar and grab the 2 of them.
Nice. Sweet. So if you guys are doing this, Kai steps out. Maybe you do or don't. So it's kind of hectic. I'm going to spin back to Janila. You with me, Joe? Can you hear us?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. Good. You sound good and clear.
My PC is a wired connection, so.
Oh, well, then that's wonderful. I should hook a webcam to that.
Yeah, wired connection. Buy a webcam.
Buy a webcam. All right, that's it. New GoFundMe. Joe's webcam, because we want to see his pretty face. Okay, so Alima Amerisu has pulled you in, and she's got some top shelf Alderani ale. Or I'm sorry. Yeah, Alderani ale. Yeah, I don't know why I questioned myself there. She's got some top shelf Alderani ale, and she pours you a few fingers. It is, yes.
Now that the planet's gone.
Every time you drink it, that's like one of the last things Alderani ale that will ever be imbibed. So she holds it up and she says, "To freedom."
Yeah, totally. We clink and knock them back because fuck that guy, fuck that slug.
Indeed. Grip him. Cool. Then she shows you a scar. She goes, this, and she starts talking about old slavery scars, and where she's been whipped and other stuff like that. Do you show off any injuries?
Oh yeah, sure. We're it's the back and forth of, I forget what movie that was, but the scar comparison of this was done by probably one of his cousins or whatever, because they're slugs, so there's many of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just yep. It's rest in whatever space hell.
Exactly. Well, actually, if I remember correctly, in one of the trilogy, I'll see you in hell. So hell is a concept that exists in Star Wars.
All right.
Cool. So, Kai, you come in, you see Janila up at the bar, you see Zudo is chatting with Sierra the Rhodian. You pull those guys, pull them to a table here, or actually outside of the little gin joint, because it's kind of loud.
Yeah, I pull them outside because I don't want anyone else to get the drop on this bounty that's come through. And I tell them, we've got a job to do, but we have to be on our toes. The shifts with Jabba's passing are going to be great, and we don't know who else is going to go after this.
Yeah, you see her oh shit, work. I was just celebrating. All right, okay, let's go. Can sober along the way.
Awesome. I'm gonna screen share real quick. This is what has been forwarded on by Barua. It is the bounty board listing for a person by the name of Golan. Golan is condition wanted alive, wanted for murder, extortion, information on the Pike Syndicate, its principal members, and crimes. Human male, 1.8 meters tall, 75 kilograms, 36 years old, brown hair, intense eyes. He is or was an enforcer for the Pike Syndicate. He was recently captured, but killed several bounty hunters and escaped. Stole a ship with a hyperdrive and took off for the Outer Rim. That is the information that is out there, and 5,000 credits is pretty significant bounty, especially just for one quarry. So that's, on the bounty board, that's just kind of the template, and then bounty hunters can make a claim on it. But this is an open contract. There are some contracts where, like, as soon as a bounty hunter claims it, then they've got it. But this one's an open claim at 5,000 credits, which means there could be other hunters that will be on this hunt. So, now we kind of work within a little bit of the information gathering and gathering of leads, which is engaging the Hunt the Wicked system itself. I'm going to set a difficulty of 2 for gathering some leads. Who wants to lead that role?
Gathering information might be my thing.
I thought so too.
But I don't mind if someone else steps in. Okay.
I'd be happy to let you have it.
Cool. Now, I haven't actually found helping rules for this game. So if they are there, I just haven't found them. So we'll just say one person makes the roll, and then we may come up with a helping rule for it afterwards. You start with 1 die automatically. You are trying to tell me a little bit about how you see gathering the information.
So I think this is talking to the people who I know who are discreet on the communication that we have, and trying to find out if anyone has seen anything from this guy. This would be at local depots. This would be where he would get refueling. This is where he would stop for supplies.
Cool.
And then eventually, if that doesn't pan out anything, I think I might start digging into Imperial information about, can we get the signature of his vehicle and see if it's been tagged anywhere.
Awesome. All right. So let's say that is within the skill of influence. Does that feel right to you?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So let's build your die pool. You've got 1 motivation die, but that's fine. You're trying to, I don't know if infiltrate makes sense here.
No. I mean, this is more trying to get into a place. This is more like trying to find out.
Right. Just double checking. I want to make sure that we're on the same page for that particular talent.
Right.
Let's see here then. Your motivation of esteem and liberty will help you get more motivation dice. Or I'm sorry, if you're acting along those lines, you'll get more motivation dice. I started you with 1. You've got the liberty technique of spending 1 motivation die to discover something about yourself, another, or the arc. And then you can also, with acceptance, motivation dice spent to gain a group or individual's trust are automatically successful. That's pretty cool. And let's see there. So yeah, it looks like you've got 1 die that you're starting with, and then if you want to spend that motivation die, you can spend that as well. You're looking for 2 successes, which is pretty tough.
So how do you get additional die to roll in your dice pool?
Good question. So the way that you would get additional dice is let's take a look at our rules for hunting real quick. So get a relevant skill, roll a relevant skill to overcome a task. Difficulty of 1 to 5. Let's see here. So you get 1d for free. You can add motivation dice to your roll if you so choose. And you can also gain advantage dice if you're in advantageous situations or beneficial weapons, tools, or info. I'm going to say that because you're in the township, I'm going to give you 1 advantage die for that. And now let's also just say that there is a helping role that if other people are helping you, you will gain advantage dice for that as well. So anyone want to help you as you start scouring for information? Anybody going to help Kai?
I'd be happy to maybe look into some of the sources or locations of information that are maybe a bit more rough and tumble that Kai
Nice.
might
Okay,
prefer to
so we
stay
see
out
you
of.
heading to the Gundar fighting arena and
Sure.
asking around. Sounds good. What about Janila?
I don't think so. Like right now. One, I can't think of any other way that she could look into helping. Two, she's probably pretty well lit from the celebration.
All right, cool. So with one advantage die for working in your township, one advantage die from help from Zudo, and then one die that you start automatically. You start with a base of 3 dice. And if you want to spend your one from your motivation pool, then you can take it up to 4 dice.
I will do that.
All right, so that's 4d6 you're rolling. I'm going to hit the button to refresh my screen. And because you're using influence, you are looking for the target of 4s or better.
Okay. So I rolled 2 5s.
Perfect. So you got 2 successes, and you've already met that total roll you get. And we're gonna I'm gonna add a little bit of color for it, but you effectively get 3 leads out of this to kick things off. We will say that the first lead is one that Zudo gets. So Zudo, you're in the Gundark fighting arena, and like the arena is actually the fighting part is down on the ground, right? And they let a couple of Gundarks out, and they circle each other, and they all have like different cybernetic implants for like quills and other things. And these guys are really souped up, and there's a lot of people who are screaming. And hold on just a second, my son decided to yell at me, even though he knows I'm running a game. Just one moment.
Hey, Dad.
We just need to make sure the house isn't on fire. It's fine.
Everything's fine. He just wanted to know if he could use the Xbox, which he can always use. But I've recently been playing on the other Xbox, so he thought maybe anyway, it's fine. It's fine. Doesn't matter. Okay, so you're there. There's a bunch of people they've got credits up in their hand. Hold on, you got a bunch of credits up in their hand, right? They're betting everything on there, and you are chatting with. Oh, let's say that you happen to be chatting with a Trandoshan by the name of Liss, and Liss, she says, "Oh, that Slimo, Golan, he had a secret hideout on Mustafar. All of his favors, all of his friends are on Mustafar. That's a Black Sun world. He hides out there because he's part of the Pike Syndicate."
Many thanks, Liz. I'll keep that in mind next time our paths meet outside of the township.
Better. Don't forget me. Cool.
I never forget a pretty face.
Such a charmer. Nice. I am going to throw that in as a lead on your sheet there. Cool. So Golan fled on us. Oh shoot, that's not what lead I just gave you. Sorry. So Golan has on majority of his assets, associates, and favors are on the planet of Mustafar. And then we roll back to so you are working through the Imperial records on the particular incident where Golan was captured and escaped. So he was captured on the planet Obadiah, but what you find out is that he fled on a starship towards Yavin, but no idea why. Just the last plotted course was that he fled on a starship towards the planet known as Javan, which is in Outer Rim. And then you, even though you aren't looking for it, you find out Janila, you're sitting there trying to sober up a little bit, and did you head back into the gin joint, or did you go to the ship trying to
business
sober up?
mode.
Okay, cool. So let's say that you check through some of your like old hunts and information, and there was a bounty that was put previously out on Golan, and you had some previous research and information that he was once married to a woman named Urena, and they had a kid, and they live on Bespin, but she was a dead end at the time. So if you take a look at the bounty, I've listed all three of your leads underneath the bounty Golan there. The majority of Golan's assets, associates, and favors are on Mustafar. He fled on a starship towards Javan for unknown reasons, and his estranged wife, Urena, and their daughter, Tysoon, live on Bespin. Guess good? Is that clear enough, hopefully?
Yep, that makes sense.
Okay.
So I have a quick question. I see you have a map of the Outer Rim.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't quite read some of the detail.
I know, it's like so gigantic.
To figure out where we're going, is Javan or Bespin or Mustafar, since he was headed towards Javan, the last we saw, are Bespin and Mustafar in either of those directions?
They are all close. So Javan and Bespin are both part of the Corellian trade spine. And Mustafar is a little bit further down on the Hydean Way. So Mustafar is far away from Javan and Bespin. It's like several days worth of travel in light speed, and you'd actually have to head down the Corellian trade spine and then bounce up Hydean Way would be the quickest way, unless you wanted to plot a course which is very dangerous straight through. I tried to increase the size of the thing, but they're all, the Bespin and Javan are both really close to each other, and Mustafar is pretty far away.
Okay.
Mustafar, in case all the weird names are a little. Mustafar is the volcano world where we had a very silly and extended lightsaber fight in the movies that no one talks about. Bespin, hopefully you guys know Bespin, Cloud City. And then Javan is just something that exists within Star Wars Expanded Universe. So, pick up with you guys on the Hornet class ship, and I did stick a picture of that sucker in the township because, hey, it got the word ship in it, so there's your ship. Hornet class fast courier, and you guys will be heading out towards one of those planets. Let's take our first break, maybe our only break, because we're at halfway point. It's 26 after. Let's go ahead and take a nice 9-minute break. So we'll pick up at 10:35 my time, 9:35 Central. Cool. So 9 minutes, and we'll see you guys back, and we'll figure out what planet you want to head to. It's a really long break.
I blame the fascists.
I think you might be right. I blame them too.
My lack of a weapon.
Awesome.
But I just ordered one, so.
Oh, yeah. I have stuck in the map outer rim a blow up of the section that shows the Corellian trade out, the Rima and the Hydian Way, with circles around Javan, Bespin, and Mustafar. Who knew that Bespin and Hoth were like next door neighbors? Yeah.
And you're masterful, I must say. Looking through all of those names and finally finding all those places, I'm like, wow.
Sorry.
No, your knowledge of Star Wars geography is amazing.
Oh, well, thank you. I do a whole lot of looking up stuff on Wikipedia, to be honest with you. And I'm actually sticking links to the particular planets. If you're bored, this is not a requirement. In the area there, so there you go. If you're bored, and yes, I'm using all the Legends versions. So, oh, those are not coming up as links. That's weird. Who cares? So we pick up with you guys on the as yet unnamed Hornet class ship. Somebody's got to name that ship now. I don't know. Your Hornet class fast courier. I'll ask Janela.
Oh boy.
I
was worried about that.
What?
I only ever think of dumb names.
No, not asking for the name. Totally unrelated to name. What is it about this particular ship that annoys you the most?
Ooh, I gotta look up the ship specs and the general. I think there is no entertainment systems on board for long voyages.
Nice. So there's you don't even have the little chess set.
Yeah, there's no chess set. There's like no music. I'm like, oh my god.
Wow, that is terrible. Zudo? I thought you liked music. What happened to the entertainment system from before?
I think it has something to do with our little droid.
Sweet. So I think your R5 complains that the entertainment system would cause, like, it took up too much processing power with the subsystems on the. But you think that that's probably a lie.
I'll strangle you, but you can't breathe.
We're going to call this one R5 D8. I don't know what nickname you give R5 D8, but that is its designation.
Cool.
I'm stuck in the township. Hornet for now. Brown Hornet. That tickles me. Good deal. So you guys have 3 leads that are on 3 different planets. The way that Hunt the Wicked works is you pick up some leads, you head to those places, do a little bit of investigation, and see where those leads take you to try to find your quarry. Where do you want to go? Do we pick up with the 3 of you on the Hornet in flight? Maybe you're in the captain's in the cockpit area, trying to figure out where to plot your course.
Sounds good to me.
Awesome.
I think we shared all of the information we have, so we know that the bounty's running for Javan, appears to be. Bespin isn't too far. Maybe we should check that out again.
Yeah, seems like smart. Like they're along the same trade route, so
Family drama. Not sure how excited I am about getting in the middle of that, but 5,000 credits. Not too shabby.
yeah, I think it makes up for what little family drama we might encounter.
But what do you think about Mustafar? How does that play in to Golan schemes?
It's
I don't know. It's where his co-workers are, but like, oh, I don't know.
If you want to make a knowledge roll, Janila,
Sure.
you start with 1 die. Is there anything you want to do to juice it?
Let's see. Nope. Talent. Nope. Let's see. I'm gonna say no based off the odds.
Fun.
Yeah. I need a 6, so
It's not looking good for you. I love it.
yeah. Nope. The
No
opposite
success.
of what I got or what I needed.
Oh man, that is not good. Cool. So then so you are trying to figure out why it is you might go to Mustafar. And talking back and forth, and that's when you see the bounty updates, and there is another there's another like query on it, somebody who's claiming it. It is a Wookiee by the name of Chawa. Has just put his name in on the bounty, and you've run into Chawa before. Run to him before, Janila, and he's actually threatened to drag your Shebs. That's Star Wars for ass. Drag your Shebs back to your slaver.
Hate that guy.
He's pretty hateful. So yeah, Chawas.
What a jerk. People were enslaved and you're up for enslaving others?
Gotta stay ahead of him. That's his logic. It's maybe not the best logic.
I know. That is cold.
So you guys were headed to Javan first, or you want to head to Bespin first? Where are you going first?
So whenever Zuto mentions Mustafar, I think that Kai points out Mustafar is a large gamble. There's the chance that if he's headed there, we could get ahead of him and be the first there. But if he's not headed there, we'll be way behind everyone else. What do you think, Zuto?
Trying to get into this Lemo's head. He's run off to Bespin. Perhaps he's going to try to make amends and say he's sorry and live a happy life, but I wonder how his wife will feel about that. And if this is the sort of man who was an enforcer for the Pikes, I have a feeling that he doesn't take no for an answer. I hate to accuse someone of something that they have not done yet, but I have a feeling that he's going to try to abscond to Mustafar with his wife and daughter, either by their will or without. So, shall we race to Bespin in hopes that we can save his wife and daughter from that terrible fate? Or shall we head to Mustafar to secure our bounty?
I think we should race to Bespin.
Oh, Janila, you always were the the sympathetic one, weren't you?
Well, also, like, if he's heading there, then we can cut him off.
Well, this is a pretty...
Or we can convince his wife to help us out, you know?
Oh, I like the way you think. And this is a very fine ship, wouldn't you say, Janila?
I mean, it gets us places well enough.
We do have an adequate pilot, I suppose.
Yeah, she's pretty great.
Well, I'll go prep the warp drives.
Cool.
So it sounds like we're headed to Bestman. Yeah.
All right.
We decided for you,
I love it. You guys are heading to Bestman. Sounds fantastic.
Start arguing with D8. I'm like, no, I want to listen to music.
That's my R5D8 sound effect. That's its favorite noise. Cool. So we lay in a course, and before long, you jump to hyperspeed. You land in the Corellian trade spine, which means you can cruise on, and you guys are kind of coming from let's say you're a little closer towards the mid rim, because then it's a nice range. So we'll say that it's a dust ball that's kind of on the inner portion of the outer rim. Head down Corellian trade spine, and you arrive at Bespin. So Bespin is a gas giant. The Bespin system, but Bespin itself is the one area that has actual population. This is where you see the Cloud City. This is Return of the Jedi version of Cloud City, right? So it's under Imperial control. And you come in, and there are a couple of cloud cars that come up. And do you guys give them any trouble when they insist on trying to escort you and check your idents?
I don't see a need to give them trouble.
Cool.
I think we flash our Imperial license.
Absolutely. That will get you into it. Oh, by the way, this is just a side thing, but I don't know if you guys saw the attachment for Hunt the Wicked, talking about the different like what credits are for and the different guild names. I'm curious if there's a particular guild you guys align with, or if you're completely neutral. I'll link that in, because I actually didn't make it a big part of it, but there are some pretty cool expanded universe guilds that amuse me. A couple of them you couldn't be part of because you're not a particular species and that kind of stuff. The Crimson Nova, House Benelix, House Nuvalis, House Paramexor, House Renless, House Salactori, House Tresario, Mantis Syndicate, Ragnar Syndicate, Skyne Bounty Hunter College, and the Slaver Syndicate.
Well, we're not that one.
No, but guess who is? Chawai is.
It's just a ball of confusion.
He is. What's up with him? Just tries to identify with it.
Probably a mad claw.
So we'd see you guys at the cloud, you've got the cloud cars kind of pull alongside and escort you down. We have this huge matte painting of Bespin, City Among the Clouds, very beautiful. This is all special editions, so there are lots of windows so you can see out into the gas giant instead of everything being all closed in walls. And we see the Hornet, the Brown Hornet, as yet unnamed ship, landing on a little landing pod that's kind of out on a big circle area that's out from a long walkway, and you get the three of you guys are walking in, loaded for bear, I assume, looking like total badasses.
You know it.
Sweet. I love it. Cool. So then a stormtrooper comes up to you guys. He's got the orange shoulder pad, which means I'm kind of a sergeant. I'm a little bit of a big deal. and he checks your idents and he says, state the reason for your arrival on the cloud city of Bespin.
Yes, sir. We are here tracking a bounty, a legal bounty, and we have reason to believe he might be in this area, and we want to make sure that order is maintained, and we will need to discuss this with some of the citizens here.
He checks your kind of your credit idents there against his data pad. He says, well, we have a strict policy against blaster use here. We need everything set to stun.
Oh, yes, sir. We understand about keeping the peace. We will not get in your way at all.
He kind of looks down and he says, that thermal detonator, it better not be used.
No problem.
Carry on. He waves you guys through and you head into Bespin. So Bespin, despite the fact that it was evacuated just a few short years ago, has built back up. There's a pretty healthy amount of people who live and work here. They seem more peaceful. There is a bit stronger presence of stormtroopers here than anyone who's been here before historically. It's a lot more Imperial presence here. How is it that you want to find Urena?
Gotta ask around.
Sure. Not even a roll. Easy enough to find Urena where her abode is. She has a flat that's located. It's not a window unit flat, but she has a flat that's located. If you guys remember, Bespin, like the Cloud City, is kind of a big, almost jellyfish-looking thing. So when my brain's always seen it. Her apartment is in the part where it starts to slope in, become a little bit more narrow. So you guys take a lift down and head through the halls, pass a few people, and they're in longer robes. It's a little cooler here because it's up high in the sky. And
along the way, I think we stop off and grab some food. This would be enough for the three of us, as well as her and her child.
Nice. Cool. Awesome. So, you arrive at the abode that is hers, the flat that is attached to Urena. Occupancy of 2.
And I think I'll hand the food to Zuto, since he's the kindest of us all, and ring the bell.
Door chimes, and a few moments later, the door slides open, and you see there is a woman. She's in her late 20s, perhaps, and you hear a kid's cry. She says, little bags under her eyes. Doesn't look like she slept terribly well. She's thrown on some kind of robe. Human, fairly attractive. She looks at the three of you. She sees your weapons. Her eyes get wide.
Look, don't worry. We're not here to hurt you, harm you. We just want to talk. You may be aware about some issues regarding your estranged husband.
Oh, Golan again? She turns, kind of walks back towards this like L-shaped couch. I don't know anything. I haven't seen him in cycles. I'm still trying to process a divorce.
Oh, we understand. We know that many people have probably contacted you. And so we brought some food so that we can sit down and just enjoy a nice conversation. We're hoping that you can help us.
Door closes as the three of you enter, and she says, I need to check on Ty. Just a moment. And and she seems really nervous about leaving you guys in this kind of front room. It's a very open air, or it's like an open layout. There's like a kitchen area with this open see-through little bar type thing, the L-shaped couch with a holo projector in the middle, and then it appears that there might be a bedroom or two in the back space. Again, no view of the outside, so it's just kind of a closed-in, brightly lit, but tight kind of area. And she comes back with what looks like a 2-year-old, and 2-year-old has her father's dark eyes, and she's kind of holding her, even though she's 2 and kind of big. What has he done now?
Do you really want to talk about the specifics in front of your daughter? Needless to say, some people were injured, hurt. You might be familiar with his past associates.
Well, I didn't know about it when we first got together, but I did find out.
Ma'am, I must inform you that after Golan's departure from his employers, he was last seen heading this way on the trade route. That's why we came to you. We thought that either we would meet him here or that he might be on his way. And you're absolutely certain that he hasn't contacted you yet?
Interesting. I think that you're trying to use a little bit of influence to pry information from her.
Yes.
I'm going to require 1 success. You get 1 die automatically.
I'll roll a motivation die as well here.
Okay.
Because I have 1 to spare. Smoke him if you got him.
I'll help.
Okay. Cool. I think you laid the groundwork earlier, so we'll give you an advantage die from that help. So that's 3 dice that you're rolling.
Oh man, they got new colors.
I know. By the way, not that it matters, but khaki rolls terribly.
Well, it turns out turquoise does as well. No successes.
No successes. That's amazing. I love it.
So I was like, no, let me roll influence.
Cool. All right. No successes. That means that in this rule set, like if injury could happen, there's a potential for injury or consequence. And she says, her mouth tightens.
Oh, what's AD?
Oh, advantage dice. An extra die.
Oh, so does my socialization thing kick in there? Gain 2 AD rather than 1 AD when assisting others or being...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man.
You have a possibility.
Cool. So you got 1 more advantage die. Good luck.
Hey!
Of course.
Thank you, Janila.
The odds are ever in your favor. Thank you for asking that question, Joe. That's great. So her mouth tightens, and then she looks worried and says, I honestly, I literally haven't seen him, but he did calm me earlier today. He said that he was going to cash out in Mustafar, and he was coming to get her. And she looks to her daughter. She seems worried.
Well, we'll make sure that he doesn't.
How are you going to do that?
Well, we're more than willing to. Well, I'm speaking for everyone. Yeah, no, like it's like we're not going to let him take your daughter,
and we're not going to miss out on a paycheck.
And
Okay. Well,
I mean, we can keep you safe.
In fact, and Kai, help me with this if I'm thinking wrongly here, but we could likely have more success in ensuring your daughter's safety if you would be willing to lend us a hand.
She looks at you, Zudo, and then glances over to Kai. Seems like Zudo was checking in with you, Kai, so she's hoping to see, like, what is all of this pitch before she says anything. She seems nervous.
Do you have a friend you could stay with? Just for a day or two? That maybe Golan doesn't know about?
I mean, he's only been here a couple times. He doesn't know the people I know. I really don't want to get anyone else in trouble. He's violent. There's a reason that I left him. I could stay with a friend, yes. I have 2 coworkers, but yes, I can lay low.
So if you don't mind, we will stay here for whenever he arrives. We will ask for you to make a recording of, greeting at the phone and having to leave for some reason, and just a couple of little messages that we could then send to him so that it doesn't raise his suspicion. And then whenever he arrives here to do what he said he would do, then we will take him into custody and there will be no problems. And we really appreciate your assistance in this area.
All right. I can make some recordings. I still have to go to work. Don't make enough credits to be able to take time off. I don't know when he's coming. I don't know how long this will be. How long will this take?
Where do you work?
I work in the processing facility. I'm a cafeteria worker.
And it would, as long as you would continue to go to work, it wouldn't cause any suspicion to be aroused. If you suddenly disappeared before he got here, that might be suspicious. Who normally takes care of your daughter throughout the day?
There's a care facility for employees. It's one of the reasons that I came to Bespin. The benefits are very good. The work is reasonable for the pay.
I think while one of us stays here, one of us should also, we will keep an eye on your workplace, especially where your daughter would be, just to make certain that they are safe. That's probably our best bet. We don't know when he will arrive or when they might, when he might decide to make his presence known. So I think we will watch after you. In the meantime, I must warn you, there is a rival syndicate that is also after him.
Her eyes widen at this mention of the words rival and syndicate.
He is not a nice person. His name is Charut, and he is a large Wookiee. I would suggest that you tell your friends that if there's any problems to immediately call the authority, that this person would not be as nice as we have been.
Oh my, a Wookiee? Those things tear people's arms off.
I know, and this one is especially mean for a Wookiee. He enslaves people.
Okay. And the kid gets a little nervous and starts to cry, and she's, I need to pack my things. And she will go and start trying to hurriedly pack for a few days. And
so,
yeah.
And
I give Kai a look. I'm like, you really need to bring that up.
Well, I want her to tell us as soon as that, there's any of the other, any of the other bounty hunters show up. While she's packing, I'll sit down with the 2-year-old and, give her some food and entertain her a little bit so that she has enough time to gather what she needs.
Nice. I think that you are. I don't even think this is a role. Like, this is a thing that Uncle Kai does, and you're able to get the child to calm down. And Taisun, it giggles a couple times. There's like some joke that you tell, or she thinks something's funny. She starts pulling on your hair on your face, saying it's like a beard.
Kai, I think it's important that we realize that we are not the only hunters who would have thought to have come to Urena.
Oh, of course.
There will be others looking for her. But I think that this is a good plan. We can set this apartment to be a trap for our prey. I'd rather not engage him out on the streets of Bespin. It wouldn't look good for our reputation.
And I say in a way that wouldn't alarm the child. I'm not sure how to state this normally, but basically I tell Zuto, it might, if I were such a person, I might not come to the apartment. I might do this at the childcare facility. We should check that place out and make sure that they have good security. If they have good security, then the apartment might be the easiest place to go. But both are a possibility.
Mm. Sounds like we need to be in multiple places at once.
Or we need to check out where things are and be ready to move at any point. Yeah.
Janila, where do you think you fit in best?
I'm pretty good at just wandering about, keeping an eye out. I'm not as good as infiltrating as Kai, but I do the hide in plain sight thing. Because I can just change my clothes and look like an entertainer or something.
Maybe it'd be best to have you stationed near the spaceport, trying to get eyes on Golan as soon as possible. You could let us know which way he's heading. We
Sure.
could try to cut him off at the pass. I hate to say it, but there's this thing about children. They tend to be frightened of me. It's very, very lamentable.
It's the whiskers.
That's understandable.
Perhaps my place would not be at the daycare facility, Uncle Kai.
Oh, that's fine. I will go to the daycare facility. I'm familiar with how they're run. And I can see, I can share my information about how the orphanage is run along with the daycare facility, scout it out, see how things are going.
Well, then that leaves me. Where do you think this pawn would be best placed?
Probably here in this apartment.
I think I pull out like a thermal detonator. Like, sounds like I've got some housekeeping to do then.
Remember, no loud noises. We don't want to destroy the apartment or make it messy. We probably want to set traps that would incapacitate him.
I kind of like slowly, like disappointedly drop my thermal detonator. It's like,
No disintegrations.
Nice.
Fine.
So by the time you guys have this worked out, who's going where, Urena comes out. She's got a couple of cases of clothing and stuff. She heads into the kitchen, grabs a few items there, and then she comes over and gets Taisun from you. And she says, I am putting a great deal of trust in the three of you. I know that you are members of the guild. I will report you if you've heard anything in my place. I want recompense. This is a hard life. This is all I have. Golan's taken everything from me. I hope that you capture him.
This is not an issue, and I completely understand your hesitance and your concern. And I think I pass over a like a business card that IDs all of us so that she could easily turn us in if there was any problems.
Nice.
I think these are all fake IDs.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Then we can kind of we do a scene wipe, a George Lucas style scene wipe, and we pick up with the spaceport as you are there per your assignment. Janila, how have you it's obvious that some kind of time has passed. So how is it that you are dealing with kind of sitting and waiting, like a stakeout, as it were?
Yeah. More often than not. It's sort of like that, but it's like I probably like found a entertainment place that I'm like there to be advertising for people that are just like docking.
Oh, cool. Okay, so like a yeah, it's like a bar right at the ports where a lot of the people that are working in and out.
Yeah.
That sounds good. So yeah, you are there, laying low, keeping an eye on things, when none other than this individual,
Oh, shit.
the Wookiee, who happens to have a cybernetic arm and cybernetic eye, named Charut, comes in, and you know he will clock you.
Yep. So I gotta.
So what do you do?
Sight.
Oh, you want to try to stay out of sight? Awesome. Then
Yep.
I think that's going to be a die.
And I like notify. All right, Charuk's here.
Cool. Yeah. So you guys get into the comms and true. So I'll backtrack a little bit for checking out the childcare, and we'll do a quick roll on that. I just want to kind of jump into some action because Star Wars. So let's say that you're to remain hidden. You're going to need 2 successes.
I know.
So let's build your die pool.
So yep, base 1. Spend that motivation die.
All right.
So is there any other way?
You have been here for a while. I'll give you 1 advantage die just because you've scoped this place out. You knew you would potentially need to lay low. So I'm cool with giving you an advantage die for that.
Okay. So that's 3. I'm gonna look up the ways to get dice. Rules for hunting, right? I don't think that there's any other way I can get another die because
yeah, it's mostly about going with your base and then seeing if you have any motivation, technique, anything along those lines.
Yeah, no.
And then your talent.
Nope. All right then. Reroll selected. 5 and a 4.
Oh, nice. Because if I remember correctly, you have a 4 in stealth. So you succeed. He comes in and he doesn't have like a little I don't know if you guys have ever seen, there was one Wookiee in like the comics that had a little translator box. But he just roars at the bartender and starts demanding, give me this information. He's asking about Golan. Then he shows a data pad with a picture of Urena, but it looks like she looks much younger. And the bartender just like shakes his head. He doesn't know some cafeteria worker out of the blue. He doesn't know some by name Golan. And then Charut stalks off. He never clocks you. You did notify both Zudo as well as Kai, that he came in, like you gave him that 411 real quick, but then he starts walking out. What do you do?
Well, like I'll just wait to like, should I follow him? Because he's not getting anyone help. So as I like break away from the mark that I suddenly started talking and flirting to, I'm like, all right, I'm done now.
The guy's like, but wait, let me tell you about my starship.
But yeah, I guess I'll like, follow to see where he heads off. Like if he stakes out by the spaceport too, then I gotta like change the tactic.
Awesome. Cool. So I'm going to kind of roll it forward in the burning wheel style, let it ride. You stalk after him. You're kind of moving along. He walks back out and he finds, like there's just a data terminal, and you see with his cybernetic arm, this little, like the R2D2 little thing comes out, like, and he sticks it in, and he starts trying to splice his way into the data terminal to gather information. What do you do?
Oh, I'm gonna let everyone know he's trying to hack the system. Probably try to find out where Urena lives. Should I shoot him?
Do you have any splicing ability? Could you like counter splice and give him a wrong address or something?
I don't know what that is. Is that knowledge? Because I'm bad at that.
Yeah, using technology would be knowledge.
Yep. No. Yeah, I'm the one that talks to people.
Janila, I will remind you that direct action against a fellow bounty hunter is considered bad form.
He's threatened to enslave me multiple times, though.
Well, he knows better than to follow through, right?
It's yet to be proven. Maybe you should hack?
Do some sort of remote hacking? Is that something?
Sure. I mean, it's a
data terminal, right?
Yeah, it's a data terminal, so it's all connected to the network. It looks like Steven's having some tech issues.
Well, I guess in the meantime, I'll have my little hacking montage, if that's okay.
Sounds awesome. Zudo the splicer sounds amazing.
Cool.
Or slicing. Sorry, not splicing. Slicing.
I'm gonna slice all the systems.
Sounds amazing. Your knowledge is adequate.
Better than mine.
Yeah. I think that Kai is typically our slicer, if anyone. So I don't think that Zuta would have any specialized equipment or anything like that. But Kai or Steven, since you're back, do you want to maybe try slicing instead? That might be something a Bothan would be more attuned to.
Certainly, I'll try that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to splice and give Charut the wrong address. I'm going to send him into the well-to-do area, if possible.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Where there would be more guards. So,
all right, we'll call it a diff 1.
Okay. So I get 1 die for free.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if I have any other benefits. So maybe a benefit for being sneaky Bothan setting things up?
Yes. And I'm kind of glancing over to refresh my rules on earning new motivation dice. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to get 3 every time you guys trigger. So in each instance of a trigger, a resolution is worth around 3 dice, but minor instances could be worth more and major could be worth less. So acceptance, discovery. I think you did a really good job of discovering some stuff before. So I'm going to go ahead and give you 3 motivation dice, Kai, just kind of leading up to this.
Should I go?
And Zudo, you were definitely in this scene talking about being honorable, so I'll give you 3 motivation dice there. And last but not least, Janila.
I socialized earlier.
Yeah, you did. All right, so there you go. So there are 3 motivation dice, and I think keeping the motivation dice flowing is going to be an important part of engaging this system. So you guys feel like you have enough. Uh, you do get some for getting leads. Yes, you gain 1 for each lead you uncover during the course of your hunt. So that would have been 3. We'll just give 1 to each because I described it, even though Janela didn't do a roll. So you guys should all be at 4 motivation dice going into this die roll that is about to happen. And sorry, I will be better about making sure EMDs happen faster. Cool.
No problem. So
right.
I will roll. I will use a motivation dice since we have them, and I will roll.
All right, so you get 1 automatically anyway. And then you'll use that for a second motivation die. You're looking for 1 success on knowledge, which is adequate for you.
And then, do I get 1 for being a sneaky bothan?
Sure, I'll give you an advantage die for being a sneaky bothan.
Okay, so I'm going to reroll selected. Oh, I don't think that's good. Let's see. This is under knowledge. Is that right?
It
so
is.
That's a 5. So nope.
All right, cool. So you start splicing into the data, and you're just like you start layering in the ideas of rerouting it, but he's already kind of gone through. His cyborg abilities are a little faster than yours. So you construct this web to redirect him, but he's already kind of grabbed the data steal and popped out of the system. You were able to see that, right? You see that he saw there was some countermeasures that were going, and he just kind of danced around it. This guy, for a Wookiee, pretty good with the cybernetics. That's not good. So he's making his way towards here's what he got. Daycare, which, by the way, there aren't any stormtroopers outside the daycare. It's not even under armed guard. But there are 3 adults that are stationed there at the daycare at any time. Where Urena works, the cafeteria, and Urena's flat. So you got all of those 3 data points or leads. He just got some motivation dice, guys. Not that I roll dice, but I'm just letting you know. So that's what he knows about Urena.
When I hear this, I think I start looking at my thermal detonator a bit more considerately.
What do you do?
I'm going to attempt an additional slice since I'm in the system already.
You bet.
And what this is going to look like is I'm going to set everything up as if an alert has been sounded. What I want to do is I want to set it up so that I can set it off, basically by hitting a button, set it up remotely. And what this is that Golan has just landed at a particular, what do you want to call it? Landing pad.
Uh-huh.
But this is one of the Imperial police kind of landing pads. So I just kind of want to cover that up and say, oh, they just landed here. So if he gets picked, so that Charut, if he gets wind, oh, my target just landed someplace and heads that way, he's going to walk into a nest of stormtroopers.
Nice. I think that's awesome. Let's give you a different role for that.
Yeah.
Again, I think that you are you using technology? I don't necessarily. I think that you're actually doing a little bit of flying here. I think this is more stealth related, right?
Okay. So 1 die for free.
Mm-hmm.
I will spend a second. I'll spend a motivation die. So I definitely want to pull this off at some point. And what's the difficulty?
The difficulty is your skill, so you're going stealth. You need 3s.
Okay. So I think I will roll that. How many successes do I need?
You're going to need 2 successes to trick him.
Okay. We'll see how well that goes.
Good luck.
Oh, I got 1 success.
1 success. Okay. Cool. Did you roll the... Okay, so you spent 1 motivation die. You had 1 die. Do you think... I don't know. Infiltration? Not exactly. Okay. Yeah, I was just trying to see if there's anything else that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool. So do you throw up that alert?
So I'm going to set it up for remote. So I'm going to pull this alert at some point where I think it'll work, and it doesn't.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So you've got the trigger.
Yeah.
You are still following Janila. He hasn't detected your presence. You grab those 3 leads, and he is heading towards the lift. And it's one of those where, Janila, you could let the lift go on. There's a possibility that if he gets off and you don't know where he got off, you could lose him. If you get on the lift with him, there's always the strong possibility that he would recognize you. There are other workers that are getting on as well. You could try to sneak in, do that thing. What do you do?
Try to sneak on. Try to sneak on.
Love it, love it. All right, cool. Give me a stealth roll to avoid detection.
Okay.
Go ahead and start building that. I'm going to jump over to Zudo. So Zudo, you get this notification. You try to do some slicing, and you're currently in you're in a flat, like a regular apartment. What do you want to do?
So I'm trying to set up some like MacGyver style booby traps, some tripwires, some lassos, and little particularly placed like shock nodes or something where
Awesome.
puts his hand on it, he gets a shock. And I've got the sort of soundboard up of all these like recordings that Urena made, and I think I even have like her daughter like crying is one of them or something. Yeah, and I'm just trying to do some deep breathing meditative exercises to prepare.
Awesome. So you're doing all of that right now, Zudo. You got everything set up, and there's a chime at the door. Now, timing-wise, you're hearing Janila saying, Chaurut just got on the lift, and that's when the door chimes for you.
So there's no way this is Chaurut.
Yes, just making sure that like it's very clear that he did not teleport there.
Right.
This, timing-wise, this is someone else. Urena should be at work and is staying at someone else's house. It's been like a day, maybe 2.
Yeah. So I'll let the comms know quietly, someone's at the door. And I'll play the hello, who's there recording.
Cool. So you play the hello, who's there?
And she's supposed to be at work. Well, too bad.
You did it. It's cool. You hear a voice that says, it's a friend of Golan's. Let me in.
I've been expecting you. Just a moment.
Cool.
Is it possible that I've set up any sort of like cameras in the hallway or anything that give me a remote feed?
That makes total sense to me. Yeah, you pull up a camera. You see there's a human standing in the hallway, male, about 1.7, 1.8 meters tall, thin, has their face. They look like they're in their like 40s. He has like blondish hair and a little bit of a beard.
Yeah, so this dude is not Golan, but I want to maybe get some info out of him regarding Golan.
Makes sense.
So I'm gonna kind of post myself next to the door. I'm gonna hit the button for the Star Wars style door opening, and I'm gonna prepare to like wrestle this dude when he comes in.
Sounds amazing. So you're doing that. We cut over to Kai, and so you know where Janila is. Do you know where Zudo is? What are you up to? What are you doing?
So Taruk just got on an elevator.
Yep.
And I'm gonna wait to see where he goes, and I'm gonna head that direction. So if he is headed, that's a good point. Okay, if he is headed towards the apartment, I'm gonna head towards the apartment. If he is headed here, I'm probably gonna set off that little distraction thing that doesn't work and see what happens. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So we're going to swing back to Janila, and you've built your die pool for trying to stealth your way out. You're in a tight confined space, so I think you need 2 successes here.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like, well, like I want to like mingle in with the workers getting on, but like once we're all on, I want to like get up right behind him and just put the gun to the small of his back.
Ooh, spooky, spooky, spooky.
Yeah.
I like it. I will
intimidate.
It sounds amazing. Yeah, so you're less worried about not being seen, and you're more interested in trying to get in a position to give you an advantage for intimidating him.
Yep.
You are pretty good at influence.
Yep.
I will give you an advantage die because you're sneaking in and trying to stick a blaster to his back. Not just a regular blaster, but a Blast Tech DL-44 heavy blaster pistol, which you were told to stick on stun. Is it on stun?
He doesn't know.
All right. But I need to know. Is it actually on stun?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just check. Because he probably got the same. Oh, by the way, I don't know for the picture. He does have a bowcaster, but it looks like he's also really deadly hand to hand.
Yeah, I know. I'm not looking forward to that.
Cool. If you want to intimidate this gigantic cyborged up Wookiee,
yep,
bounty hunter, you're gonna need 3 successes. I'm sorry.
Right. I'll spend 2 motivation dice. Well, actually, so I guess here's the thing. My esteem of respect motivation die spent to leverage my worth, skill, reputation are automatically successful.
Motivation die spent to leverage your worth, skill, reputation automatically successful.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Well, it means that if you spend the motivation die instead of having to roll it, it's automatically a success towards your total that you need.
Okay. But then I'll still need 2 more successes.
Yeah. I mean, it's 1 for 1 if you spend multiple motivation dice. And you got to work in the color of like, how are you using your respect? Like, is it the fact that you have a gun and you're a bounty hunter and badass?
Yeah, I'll spend just 3 motivation die. So
you just do it. You got the drop on him. You've got a gun to his back.
I gotta look up his name.
Chowroot.
Hey, Chowroot. I think we're getting off at the next stop. Otherwise, you're not getting off ever again.
Oh wow! So yeah, you do that. He turns. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, you want to threaten me with slavery? Yeah, I think this is you'd be lucky if I were that. Nice.
Oh man, that is wicked. I love this moment. Like, just little bitty Zeltron, pretty Zeltron girl, and this like behemoth of a Wookiee who's like pushing 6.5 feet, 6'7". He turns, he looks down, he's got that yellow cybernetic eye as he looks at you, and then he notices the blaster in his back. And as tough as he is, he's toast. Like, you would blow a hole in his gut, he would be dead. You pull that trigger because it is a heavy blaster pistol. He's a dead Wookiee. And he roars. Do you speak Wookiee? All you have to do is say yes or no.
Like
I don't.
Yes, yeah.
Cool.
We've interacted enough that I've like, you asshole.
Yeah, he it's it's less of a big Wookiee like roars. It's you'd really shoot me here? And he reaches forward with his arm and he taps the button to stop at the next floor. And that's when people see this going on. They, of course, we're like, don't look at the Wookiee who's in the lift with me thing, you know? And then someone has a gun and they're like, oh shit. They start all moving to the side.
Yep.
The lift stops and you see this guy. And people are waiting like, there's like a dozen folks here in the lift with you. Almost all humans. There's like a Twi'lek and a couple of others. They're looking like, do we get off? Do we not? And then they just go. They just break and they just go. You've got 3 automatic successes, so the Wookiee just waits.
Yeah, so I nudge him forward.
Oh, cool. Well, he will step out into this area. Kai, are you there?
I'm going to head that direction, yes.
Cool. So you guys are dealing with Chaurut. We cut back to the apartment. Door opens up. Blonde-haired guy steps in, and you try to jump him. He didn't see it coming, so you grab him. What do you like? Throw him to the ground? You slam him against the wall? What do you do?
Good question. Yeah, I'm being very careful not to like break any of the fine pottery and things like that in here. But he's a human and I'm a no-taken. I'm like a little bit taller than this fellow.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm just gonna like basically like put him in like a Nelson, a half Nelson, and just kind of.
Oh, cool. Okay, so if you want to get into like an actual hole, then I think we should probably go to dice. Like just shoving him aside or pushing him against the wall, that's totally cool. If you want to put him in a lock to where you've got control of him, I'd like to see that go to dice. Does that seem fair?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, cool. I think that is probably just making sure. Is that a might roll?
I think that would be might. Strength.
Yeah, melee combat, strength, speed. Cool. So that'll be a might roll for you. You're gonna just need one success because I'm carrying forward the fact that you got the drop on him.
Cool. And I'll spend a motivation die as well. So that's 2 dice need 1 success. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. And your target number is your might, which is adequate. So you need a 5 or a 6.
Hey, there's a 5.
Nice. Well, that one looked juicy to me. All right, so you get him in a bit of a hole. The guy actually has more muscle than you anticipated. He's not like a big beefy guy, but you're huge, and you thought he was just a puny human, but he was strong. It took a bit of effort, but you have him a bit of a lock. And he's kind of struggling against you, but you've got him pretty well under control right now. What are you doing? Ugh, we're Tagans.
I think like I pull on his muscles a little bit when he goes for my species, but yeah, I'm not really saying anything to him just yet. I'm trying to like kind of get an eye for what is on his person, like basically things I don't want him reaching for, which is part of the reason why I have him in this hold, is so he can't grab a comm or a gun or anything like that.
He has on his person a Verpine shatter gun. So Verpine are these like insectoid bipedal sentient species that are really good inventors, and they actually help to design the B-Wing fighter. But they also create a thing called a shatter gun. Is a type of disintegration pistol that is really freaking painful. And having shatter guns is not legal in most places. But he has a shatter gun, and he also has a comm unit, and say he has like a vibro knife as well. Underneath some robes and stuff that look like Bespin style clothing.
Right. But I can kind of feel the outline with my body stuff, yeah. So I say, I'm here on business. And if you would like to be an investor, that can be arranged. But if I'm concerned that you're going to interfere with my business, then, well, you will have to be disposed of.
No problems. No problems. Hey, listen. You let me go, and I'll lead you to where Golan is, okay? Is that what you want?
You're offering to lead me right into a trap. I don't know how I feel about that. But why don't you tell me why Golan sent you here? What did he want you to do?
He licks his lips. He's kind of looking around. And he says, he wanted me to get the kid.
I see. And you were prepared to kidnap a small child, is that right?
Well, it's his kid. So it's not really kidnapping.
Well,
Said his, the mother just stole the kid away. Plus, he offered me a lot of credits, so, he must really love the kid or something.
Tell me where he is.
He's on Mustafar. He figures the Black Suns will keep the Pikes from taking him out.
What's your name, son?
Tanis.
Tanis. I'm afraid that letting you go would simply be too dangerous of a proposition. I'm not much of a gambling man, and I want to, reach down and grab my stun gun and stun him unconscious.
Oh, shit. Okay. Well, you got your one success, and you had him under a thing, so he tries to struggle against you, and then you stun him. And he slumps over. So we cut back to Charut, and all of the workers have moved. You guys are in kind of a T intersection, right? And this is, we'll say it's like a promenade type area because you only went down like one floor, right? So there are some shops around and everything. The Charut's there, big lumbering, towering thing. And Kai, you're near enough to interact if you want. And Janila, you've got him dead to rights.
Mm-hmm.
So now what? He roars.
Well, I mean, the smart thing for you to do would be to walk away, but knowing you, I don't know if we can take that chance.
And so once Kai walks up, he sees Charut, but Janela seems to have the drop, right?
Seems like him.
I'm going to place an anonymous call into the authorities and tell them that there is a crazed Wookiee on this level. That and then I'm going to tell Janela over the comm that authorities are on the way, and they can detain Charut for some period of time, but don't be seen with your weapon.
All right.
Right.
I'll just pull the trigger and stun him.
Sweet.
That way we can get out of there.
So you pull the trigger. Oh man, because he's a freaking Wookiee. He's mostly robotic. I really want to make you roll dice. Is that fair?
Okay, sure.
Okay, cool. All right, sweet. So ranged combat is coordination. You're competent at that.
Yep.
I'm going to give you advantage die because you got him dead to rights.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give you that advantage die. You just need one success, and with one success, he's KO'd.
All right, sure. And I'll spend my last motivation die just in case. So 3d6. 2 successes.
Nice. 2 6s. Holy crap. You crit. You see the concentric circles come out, right? And you stun him, and he lurches for a second, and then his little eye winks out. His little yellow eye winks out, and he falls in a hump, and then there are a bunch of stormtroopers start coming running up like a squad of stormtroopers that just recently got a call, and they will throw manacles on him and deactivate his cybernetic arm. And
can I use that extra success to take his bowcaster and get out?
Yeah, you got a big ass bowcaster there. That is awesome. I love it. Cool. So you have a bowcaster. Yeah, that thing is gotta prop it up. I mean, it probably weighs 40 pounds. It's just gigantic. It is really impractical, but boy, is it scary looking. Sweet. So Kai, you see this, you called in the authorities, and the troopers come and pick him up, and he's a bounty hunter, so he's probably going to be able to talk his way out of it. Probably. We'll see. He's not very personable. He's bad at socialization. Kai, what do you want to do?
Also, so I put in a call to Zuto, and I tell Zuto Charut is going to be occupied for a little while with the troopers. So I think let's go back to our normal, setup until we figure out what to do with Charut.
Right. I had some company over. One of Golan's lackeys. Apparently, Golan's on Mustafar was hoping to outsource. I think it's about time we got back on the ship and try to catch up.
Okay.
And meanwhile, I'm taking down all these booby traps and stuff like that.
What do we do about his wife and child, though?
So the friend was supposed to, Golan's friend was supposed to take the child. Is that right?
Yes.
We'll just have to hope that if we take out Golan, that he won't be sending any more goons.
How is the goon dead?
Oh no, I'm looking him up in the database now. Might be worth a few credits.
So he's can you bring him along?
Oh yes. I'll have to borrow one of Urina's bags, but
Like stuff him in a bag. That's awesome. So this Tanis does not. There are no bounties on this guy, and you look up the name Tanis with that picture. There are no records of this guy in the Bounty Hunter Guild database.
Yeah, so you should bring him along, and he might be able to get us closer to Golan once we get towards Mustafar.
Yeah. So Charud knows where the wife and daughter live and work, though.
This is true. He does.
Well,
so we got to tell them to get out before we get out, or we take them with us.
We shouldn't take them with us.
Maybe we could leave these
their choice.
These booby traps up and let Mr. Charut be in for a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, but then she'll have to deal with an even angrier Wookiee.
So you'd rather take her to Mustafar, the criminal planet where her violent ex-husband is waiting.
Okay, here's an option. We could make it appear as if the buddy of Golan picked up the kid and the wife and is taking them to maybe not Mustafar, some other place that we can think of for a good reason, but basically make it look as if he succeeded. So Charut would leave here knowing that they're not here.
Not a bad plan, as long as you're okay with there being authorities on the lookout for these fugitives that we are harboring. But, Kai, you're a rather crafty fellow, so I'm willing to trust you on this one.
Yeah, I think that we should. Yeah, and yeah, I think we should basically set this up so it looks like the wife and daughter have been kidnapped from Bespin. And then where do you think we should have them sent? You know, where do we want him to come after us at Mustafar? Do we want to send him on a wild goose chase?
You know, this fellow doesn't have a bounty yet. But he is indeed guilty of attempted kidnapping. Maybe we could turn him into a bounty. And then, when the authorities come to collect them, we're the glorious heroes who saved them from their captors. And gain a little reputation, gain a little coin. Happy ending for all.
We're going to trump up a bounty on Tanis then.
Our 5D8 will be able to keep an eye on the woman and her daughter. What do you say?
That sounds good.
Happy family reunion on Mustafar.
Yeah, let's just make sure they're okay with it.
Oh, you're right, Janella. So, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to burn a motivation die
Okay.
and use my acceptance. And I think that this is gain a group or individual's trust to make it successful or something like that.
Yep.
And what this looks like is I'm going to talk to the healthcare facility or to the childcare facility here,
Mhm.
and either they've heard of me or one of the orphans has been placed here before. So, what this so basically they have a little bit of knowledge and feel like I'm a little bit trustworthy.
I love it. Okay.
Okay, and I'm going to have them call uh I forgot the mother's name.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wrote it down. Urena.
Urena. So Urena's going. I'm going to ask them to request Urena come, off of work, come to the facility as if the child is sick or something like that, so that we can talk to both of them.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's all I want to do is talk to them.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and you're burning that motivation dice. And what is it that, because we're coming up near time, is that a conversation we want to kick off with, or do we want to bring it to resolution here? If you try to convince Urena, hey, the best way for you to stay safe is to leave with us, that's going to be a tough sell for her because she's basically going to lose her job. But, if she saw Chaurut, then chances are she would be like, okay, that's pretty freaking scary. And yes.
So Zuto, you suggested. I want to make sure I understand. You suggested that we bring the child and the wife along.
Yes, and we bring Tanis as well, and we leave breadcrumbs so that the authorities believe that Tanis was responsible for this. So when they inevitably get to Mustafar and we collect our bounty and we collect a bounty on Tanis and we return the wife and child
I
to
see.
Bespin.
I see.
And she might not even lose her job if she's been kidnapped.
So nice and simple, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So I like this idea. How about so I will do this, and so the motivation die was that you asked about how that was spent. Is that spent to declare something, or is that spent during dice off?
So that's a great question. The way that appears to be is basically acceptance. MD is spent to gain a group individual to automatically successful. So it seems like that works the same way that Janila's respect worked. So we would need to put this to die roll.
Okay, so that makes more sense. I thought it was kind of making a declaration.
Yeah, I did too when I first glanced at it, but yeah, I think it's actually just
So then I should convince. So I think what I do is whenever the wife comes in, I'm going to show her. I'm going to say there's been a complication. I'm so sorry. We've done our best to take care of this. However, the bounty hunter we were concerned about showed up, and I show her a picture of Chirrut, which is super intimidating.
Yeah.
Okay. And I say, this is the slaver we were talking about. In addition, someone attempted to kidnap you and your daughter. So I don't think you're safe here any longer. The Wookiee will be leaving soon. He is currently detained by the authorities, but he won't be detained for very long. It's best if you leave here with us. And we will take the kidnapper and you and your daughter with us. And therefore, the Wookiee will be looking in the wrong place for you. And you can your absence at work will appear to be as if you were kidnapped and no fault of your own.
That's logical.
Okay.
All right. I think just one success on this, and you're trying to influence her, right? So
Sure, that makes sense. So influence, 1 die for free, and I'll spend 1 die for the reputation with the what do you call it? The childcare facility.
Acceptance?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That totally reads for me.
Can
And then
you
I'll
also,
go ahead.
can you also spend that die just to trigger the acceptance?
Oh, yes, I can.
Mhm.
That's a good point. So I will just trigger that it appears as if we're trustworthy.
And it's automatically successful
Yeah.
because of your technique. So
Yeah.
you're good. Like,
Okay.
because other dice don't cause one success to go away. So you're good.
Yeah. Okay. And I think that's what we'll do, and then uh we'll leave clues behind so it looks like Tanis has kidnapped the two of them.
Nice. Okay. Cool. So we will, just because of time, and I like to do a little bit of feedback at the end, we'll end with you guys laying your little bit of trap on Bespin. You're back on the Hornet and taking off. You now have 3 passengers, one of which is a 2-year-old child.
2 and a captive. 2 and a captive.
Yeah. Okay. You have a captive and 2 passengers. Yes. Good. And we will pick up with you guys heading to Mustafar in our next session. Awesome. So the way that advancement works in this game is that
Before, should we do earned motivation die before then?
Yeah, we should do motivation dice. Let's do that. Let's do
Yeah.
that thing exactly. Good.
What
good
are
point.
the triggers?
So
It's when some event elicits a response from your motivation.
I think that when you're doing things because of, like for Janila, her sense of community and socialization, her desire for esteem and respect, like those are the things that would trigger. So you're using those techniques, but they also are generating motivation dice that will be picked up next scene. Like, so you can't do a thing based off of respect and within that same scene gain those motivation dice to spend right away. So I'll give 3 motivation dice to Janila because you rolled out that respect on him. I think Zudo, you definitely overpowered this guy. So power is definitely a thing. I'll give you 3 motivation dice there. And for Kai, you did a lot of work around liberty, though. Huh. I don't know. What do you think about as far as your motivations?
Acceptance definitely happened.
Yeah. You use the stuff for acceptance. So cool. There you go.
Weird that you can spend them and get them back because
yes, I'll reread the motivation stuff and make sure that I'm interpreting it correctly before next session, and that'll be a thorn that I give myself, is that I wasn't clear on explaining how motivation works. But yeah.
But I guess like since you're spending them one scene, you just get them for a next scene. I don't know.
It's the way it seems like it reads to me. But again, there's a bit of a section.
Mm-hmm.
I put in the quick play rules, is what you guys have access to in the rules for hunting. I have the whole book, so I'll look through it more closely.
And it seems like a lot of the system is based around building these up and moving them around and that kind of stuff. So that makes sense that you could spend these points and then get more at the end of the scene in order to get them back up and all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. We also got a lead, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you got a new lead. So let's go ahead and mark 1 more motivation die for you guys. Look at Zudo rolling in it. Now, there is a thing you can only roll a max of 10. Just FYI, in 1 roll, you can only roll a max of 10. And I'll save this other thing for Roses and Thorns. The last thing is characters advance when you've successfully captured or killed 3 quarries, which is interesting to me because like you guys are still working on 1. So I may just because it's entirely possible that Golan will be wrapped up early in next session and we'll roll straight into another hunt. And I may just, because we're doing a 3-shot, I may go ahead and have you guys take an advance because of that, just because I want to see the system in action, if that's okay. I mean, you can fight me on advancement. Yeah, no player has ever done that ever in the world, ever. No, I'm joking. I'm sure someone has. Good. So, yeah, I've got a note for myself on motivation, making sure that's good and clear. But let's go ahead and go through our roses and thorns, normal feedback that I like to use. We'll start with thorns. Thorns are critiques, areas of confusion, things that were a little disappointing. Go ahead and hit me with your best shot. The first time I've run Hunt the Wicked, I think that there are some things that I can definitely do to improve. I'll go ahead and say motivation. I wasn't terribly clear about how motivation works. I want to make sure that I'm very clear on that going into next session. The second thing is I excised the alien species from the Hunt the Wicked rules. I think that it kind of robbed you guys of dice. Like you could have been rolling 1 to 2 instead of just starting with the one free. So I'm going to put some thinks into that, and maybe we just come up with a alien species trait that's an extra talent that you guys have, and humans can have a thing. So I'll take a look at putting that back in. I did not realize that it would kind of really lower the amount of base dice you guys start with, because you really had to lean on your motivation pool. So that's a thing for me. That's another thorn that I had as I'm looking at the system, because I know that's a thing I didn't even present to you guys. I actually took it out of the character creation rules because they had 3 alien species, and 2 of them don't exist in Star Wars. And like one of them, I couldn't even find a Star Wars analog. It's like these weird little creatures that run around in mechs. It was a neat idea, but not very Star Warsy. Those are my thorns, just to get them off the table. Steven, what thorns did you have from?
Let's see. I spent a little bit of time building the character, and I probably should have had that done before.
Oh gosh, no homework ever. If you guys ever have the time and the inclination to do it ahead of time, cool. But taking the early part of a session to make your character is never a thorn. That's the expectation of an open table. So don't worry about that, Stephen.
Well, to be honest, I have to stretch a little bit to find thorns. Other than what you mentioned, like the system is unfamiliar, but I feel like I'm starting to get into the swing of things.
Cool.
I see this flow of motivation dice. What it seems like we're doing is we're taking and building up motivation dice that we can then spend to get successes during the scene, and then as long as we follow our motivations, get more motivation dice to keep things rolling.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think that's what it is. So I'm I'm struggling a little bit to make sure that that's the main point of the system. Yeah.
Cool. If you think of anything else as other people are mentioning things, feel free to jump in and say, yeah, ditto, same for me. Thank you very much, Stephen. Michael, what thorns did you have from today's session?
Yeah, I guess things I sort of struggled with kind of already been mentioned. I think that the system is interesting, and I like the idea of the moving target numbers combined with the dice pool. But yeah, with having less dice, it was sort of an odd rhythm, but we can look into that. I was hoping for a bit more direction with the motivations, like specifically how we're expected to kind of meet them in the scene, like they kind of remind me of like keys or flags or something like that, but beyond just the one word, like justice or honor, like what exactly are they looking for from us? Would be good to know, so that I can, as a player, kind of point myself and my character in that way would be helpful. Or even if there's just a way you want to roll with it, let us know. But yeah, that's about all I had issues with.
Yeah, I think and I'm kind of harping on myself again, but my critical failure, I did not realize exactly how integral motivation dice. For some reason I saw it and I'm like, oh, that's like the dice pool for Lady Blackbird. Cool, I know that. I'll move on to other aspects of the system. And I did not realize exactly, like, you really need that is a huge economy in this game, at least at current understanding of Hunt the Wicked. Cool, so that's good feedback. Thank you, Michael. Joe?
Yeah, same. Motivation dice was confusing at first. Like, reading about it, it says, now is it supposed to be normally just a pool that everyone shares, or is each person normally supposed to have their own pool?
Great question.
The one paragraph says characters should have approximately 10 motivation dice at their disposal at any time during a hunt.
Really?
Yeah.
That is so weird. I totally missed that.
Yeah, it's the fourth paragraph under the motivation dice tab.
That could definitely answer a lot.
Each instance of a trigger or resolution is worth about 3 MD. Like, that's why it's so confusing. So, like, it's like, all right, I spend this just to get it back later. And, like, you know, the specifics of a trigger would be nice, like Lady Blackbird, but I'm not going to fault you.
Well, before we talk about fault, like, that is the quick start rules.
Yeah.
I have the full book. I commit to reading more in depth on the motivation aspect. There could be a lot of stuff in there that just wasn't for space, because it's a 4-page quick start with a hunt in it. That maybe not isn't.
I don't fault anyone, but like, and then it says minor or major instances can be worth more or less. I'm like, I don't know what any of this means.
Yeah.
So
yeah, definitely a thing that I will have clearer for us next time, and I appreciate that feedback.
So I have another piece of information in that. I was looking through some of the motivations, and under liberty, there's independence. When alone or inciting independence in others, successful MD spent return to the pool. So that's another indication of that there's a pool of MD dice.
I'm so confused.
but is it a pool that everyone has? Because you have a pool in, I don't know.
You can take it either way. Yeah, okay.
Yep, 100%. I will get that clarified for us next session.
Do you know offhand how many players this game is normally supposed to be for?
If I remember correctly, like 3 to 5.
Okay, because then, like, also with these quick start rules make even less sense, because like if you have a larger number of players and the pool is still 10 MD, that's way different than you have a smaller amount of players and the pool's still
if it's 10. A pool that's literally pooled for all people to access.
I'm like, that's not like, they don't balance. It's I don't know.
I'm actually looking up Hunt the Wicked in drive-through right now, because I seem to remember that it says something about how many players. I'll get you answers. Let's roll on. What roses, Joe, did you have from today's session? Those are things that you enjoyed, aspects of the game that you really liked. Kudos to other players.
Relationship building and the world building that we do, of like helping flesh out the spaceport. Plus, I love Star Wars, so
yay. So much so you got up super early. Cool. Thank you, Joe. Michael, what roses did you have?
Sure. Well, I always have a rose for you, Rich, because you're always very well prepared. It's always nice as a player playing with you, because I know that there's going to be a lot of support on your side for me, having species names, character names, maps, things like that, just ready for me to hook onto is very comforting. But Joe, I think this is the first time we've played together. I had a great time interacting with you. I think Janila is a lot of fun. I really appreciated when you pointed out, like, maybe we should check in with if they're okay with this. Is the
I love that.
Cool with going
on. Like, I'm a Zeltron. I'm empathic, so I feel their feelings.
So yeah, I appreciated that. And Stephen, I really enjoyed latching onto the Uncle Kai aspect and being a character who's more sympathetic and kind, especially towards children in a setting that can be kind of grim and gritty and uncaring. So that's a cool foil to have. So those are my roses.
Good ones. Thank you, Michael. Stephen, what roses did you have?
I kind of want to echo Michael's in that, so again, the character that I came up with, I got the name, I got the race. I just read through all the preparation that you've done, Rich, with the different races that you have and background on them, and and it immediately sparked, you made it very easy to build really great characters. Now, I haven't ever heard of the race, the Zeltron, before, which is kind of awesome. I'm really excited to see a race in Star Wars that I hadn't really seen before. That's pretty cool. And I love Star Wars. Star Wars is fantastic. So, and I felt like the story that we told today was a really good story. it seemed like everybody just immediately the way that Rich, the way that you asked questions about how things were related and things in the town, and then the events that went on in the town, really tied everything together. And then I think Michael may have mentioned the orphanage, which prompted me to pull that in, and just the way that the whole story flowed was fantastic.
I was so excited when you circle back to the orphanage. Like this half comment that Michael made, and you're like, nope, I'm latching on to that, and that is a good idea. I absolutely adore that you not only took it, but it wasn't just and I'm a nice guy. It's like, no, there is absolutely a tactical reason why this should be a thing. And that was really, really clever. An interesting aspect to Kai. Always fun to see Zudo. I'd love to see Zudo as a bounty hunter hunting bounties for the first time. So good, so good. Joe, I have this very, very soft spot in my heart for Zeltrons. I played a Zeltron in a play-by-post Star Wars game named Candor, and that was just so fun. I love Zeltrons. They're neat.
Yeah.
They've been depicted in Star Wars comics, and they're kind of ditzy in the comics that I've read. There was one Zeltron, if I remember correctly, who hung out with Quinlan Voss, who was super awesome. So really neat to see that character come in, and I'm glad you got up early. I know you got 2 more times to do it. We'll continue to try to make it worth your while, Joe, because you're a great addition to this crew.
They're so pink. But yeah, like my inspiration was like Grace Kelly in space. Space Kelly.
Space Kelly. Oh my goodness, I can't get that out of my head now. I have found a picture for Urena that is currently on the township, and I like her. She looks cool. It's actually somebody in Ray cosplay, but it's a neat looking cosplayer, so I'll just go with it.
Can you also put a picture of Charut on the town?
Yeah, I can. I actually have that in my thing. Yeah, we'll put that picture in there.
Jerk face.
He's such a jerk face. What is even up with that? Just a jerk face, man.
Wookie.
A Wookie. I love the way they say Wookie in the Solo movie. Wookie. That's really, really neat. All right, this picture will be up in just moments, and we will meet next week. I am very much looking forward to continuing our adventures, my friends.
I should warn you, Rich. I think the last session I'm going to be remote. I'm going to be in a hotel.
Okay.
That's the weekend before Thanksgiving, right?
Probably.
I think it's the 17th or something like that, maybe.
It is certainly the 17th, exactly. Yeah. So you'll be in a hotel?
Yeah, I'll be in a hotel. I've been in this hotel before, and I should have good connection, but we'll see.
Okay.
I might have to use my cell and go audio only or something.
Okay.
But we'll see.
We can make it work.
Yeah.
We did audio only today, and all we missed was Joe's smiling face.
No problem. I ordered a webcam.
No, good, dude. I wasn't trying to give you a bad time. I was just saying.
Well, no, it's annoying for me too because I don't know. It's just easier to read people's faces sometimes.
I agree.
So,
all right, I'm going to go ahead and bring this to a close. We will see you guys next week.